Hey, what's going on, y'all? Doing a video here. It's been a while. Um, I was just trying to remember the last time I did a video. I actually just did a short video um, showing myself at the range shooting, and we actually just went recently. A friend of mine's birthday was last week, so we went shooting together and took him out to the range, and we had a good day out there. And he actually bought a new firearm, a new pistol, and got him a Taurus 9mm, and we went and shot that. And then I took the guns I have here, the pistols I have, and I went and shot them out there just to make sure everything was working. Magazines were feeding and all that good stuff, and if there was any problems, which there were, so I was glad to get out there. Which I'm going to be going to the range more often here. I've always liked to go more often, but always busy. But I'm going to start fitting more shooting time in. And for a while there during 2020, 2021, and I was just conserving ammo and using shooting here and there. But now with the prices going down on ammo, it's a lot of it's more affordable, to get out there and start training again and really getting the rounds, going through the rounds. So, anyways, but I did put a little short video showing that, and I was actually shooting my Walther PPQ in that video, which I love that gun. It's an amazing gun, but the one I have has a custom trigger on it, so it's really nice, and the reset on it is really short, which I'll show it here. But anyways, I was just doing this video because I was thinking about what I learned at the range, shooting the guns too, and what problems I had, and what was great, what wasn't, and also kind of like difference between home defense and concealed carry, what I carry every day and what I have set up for home defense. So, but anyways, the first gun I shot was actually my father's old Ruger Mark 1. This is a gun. I didn't have problems with the gun. I had problems with the magazines. Make sure everything's clear. Yeah, we're good. Anyways, it shouldn't be unlocked yet. So this is the Ruger Mark 1. Like I said, this is my father's old pistol he used to carry with him when we go out in the woods and stuff. And anyways, but he never had a lot of magazines for it. He only had one magazine, and it wasn't even a Ruger magazine, it was an aftermarket. And you could tell when you got a Ruger mag because they'll have the Ruger symbol down at the bottom there. So this is an aftermarket. Now this magazine actually fed, went in, came out, fed the rounds, everything worked great with it. Now, I did buy 2 other mags for this gun at a gun show a while back. I never got to use them to try them out and make sure everything was working on and they were feeding properly. But when we went to the range, I brought the 2 extra mags. I had the 3 mags. This one fed good. This one worked. The other 2 didn't feed. They couldn't get the round to come up to get into the barrel and into the chamber, and when I did put the mags in, I couldn't get them out. So the firearms or the range instructor, he had to come over, and he had a flathead screwdriver, and then we pried the mags out to get them out. I took it to the gunsmith there. More than likely, the guy that sold me those mags, who said they were for the Mark 1, they weren't. And so anyways, be careful when you're at the gun shows and you're buying stuff there. You can always get great deals there, but when it comes to magazines, they're all used or old, and for me, the only reason why I bought them there because it's hard to find Mark 1 mags. I am going to go on Ruger and order 2 brand new ones, Ruger magazines for the Mark 1. So I will have 2 or 3 magazines for this gun here, brand new, and they will be Ruger, not aftermarket. The gunsmith there at the range said, stay away from pro mags. He says they're nothing but garbage, and all these aftermarket mags, you're better off, especially with this firearm, to just go with the Ruger mag. So that was one of the issues we had. I had with this gun here. So I was glad to get out there, try those out, find out what the problems were. But as far as the gun shooting itself, this is a 22 caliber, and but it's a good gun to shoot, fun gun to shoot. It's not bad. Yeah, like I said, it was my dad's old Ruger. So, but it's I have this here in the house, ready for my wife for a home defense. This isn't really something I would use for home defense, but with her, she hasn't shot a lot of calibers. 22s she's shot, so she's comfortable with using the 22 caliber and a 22 pistol. But I have this set up in an area in the house where she can get to it, and it's something she could use for home defense. But is it something you want to use for home defense? Ideally, no, this is not a home defense type gun. So anyways, you just and if you don't know to lock a lot of people don't know to lock the slide back here on the Mark 1. There's your safety button right there where my thumb is, and you just push the safety up and that locks the slide there. A lot of people don't know that. Not even the fire instructor at the shooting range didn't know that. So anyways, so here's that was the problem I had with this gun. I don't keep one in the chamber on this. So my wife did have to get to it. She does have to rack it and get around in there. Anyway, so there was the Ruger. Is it ideal for home defense? No. Could I keep that in the truck? Have it with me, like my dad did all the time. Anytime we went out to the woods, he would take it. So yeah, you could use it for that. He would bring it with us for snakes, and basically for the snakes, to shoot any snakes while we're out there walking the dog and hiking and stuff. So anyways, that's kind of what that gun could be used for, but not really so much home defense. Now the gun I do have for home defense, I think I've shown this before, and I have this set up for home defense, and it's in the house in a certain area, that way we can get to it. But it's my Walther PPQ. So go ahead and clear it. There is nothing in the chamber. I don't keep around in the chamber here. So in a home defense situation, I would have to rack this to get around it. So anyways, but I do have 2 mags in here. And I also have my charging cable for my O-light that I have on here. I did keep the O-light on here. I did purchase the Black Scout Survival flashlight, gun light, which is a great light for a great price. And then the O-light here, I've always had on. I did figure out what was going wrong with my charging cable, so everything's good on that end. My O-light's fine and it charges good, so there's no problems there. But the reason why I left the O-light on, because I keep this in the gun case and put away, and I keep the light on for the home defense. Now it actually fits perfect here in the gun case with the light on. The Black Scout Survival one is longer, so it sticks out further, and it doesn't, fit inside the gun case where I want it. So that's why I didn't keep the Black Scout on there. I still have it, still got it put away as a backup. But I do like the O-light being flush with the frame of the gun. It flushes up with it, it's even with it, and that's actually good for, when you're shooting, you're not getting a lot of carbon buildup and stuff all over the light itself when you're shooting. My buddy, actually, his Taurus 9mm that he bought, he did get a laser and a flashlight put on there. He bought on Amazon, which he didn't get an O-light. Told him to get an O-light, he didn't get it. So he got a cheaper one, but it sticks out further than the barrel. And after we got done shooting that day, and I think we probably shot, 300 or 400 rounds or somewhere in there, he did have a lot of carbon buildup all over that light on the tip of it, like just from one day, shooting. So it was pretty bad. It was actually pretty dirty, so he had to clean that up. But I did notice that, and I did shoot with the O-light on this pistol that day, just to make sure that nothing comes loose on this Olight. And I tell you, this thing, when I had it on there and I was shooting, it did great. No problems, you know, wiggling or coming off or anything. And like I said, no carbon buildup because it sits back from the barrel, you know, it's flush with the gun. So I really like this Olight. And then the charging aspect of this, the magnet charging, it's so easy and it's just nice having. So anyways, but this is my Walther PPQ. Like I said, it does has a custom trigger on it. I do have night sights on there too. And but anyways, I love this freaking gun. This is my baby right here. I think that video I posted, that short video, I put that song Gucci Glock from Tyson James, and I love that song. But you know, he has his Glock 19 that he has all decked out. You know, a lot of guys go with the Glock, especially the Glock 19 for conceal, and you know, for a carry gun, and just, you know, all everyday all around gun, which the Glock 19 is an amazing pistol and firearm. Glock itself is you know, amazing. You know, the guns, they're just reliable, durable, and they work when you need them. But I tell you, I'm a big fan of the Walther guns, and they're just as good, if not better, than the Glocks. And just kind of a gun that was under the radar when it came out, and it's just an amazing freaking firearm. Like, and it's German made, so I really like that because the Germans do make good stuff, and everything they do to perfection. So I mean, I just can't, that for me, Walther is my go-to. I know everybody loves Glock, but I'm a fan of the Walther. And I do want to get the Walther PDP maybe, but I love my PPQ here. It's an amazing gun. But I am thinking about buying maybe the 22 caliber Walther subcompact for my wife, as far as a carry gun. And the 22 calibers, I think, is the caliber I'm gonna go with her for self-defense, and get the 22 round mags, magnums in there for self-defense. So, and it, which is a nasty round, it can get the job done in self-defense situations. So, but I love Walther, really great gun. And if you know, and the, you know, the prices are about the same as the Glock, but I got a good deal on this one back when I got it. But anyways, yeah, awesome gun. So this is my home defense gun, and I got it set up. You know, Jack's talked about this on Black Scout. For him, the best gun for home defense for him, to him, is his Glock 19, but is his pistol. He believes his pistol is the best firearm to have for home defense, in his opinion, his thoughts on it. Like I said, I do have this for home defense, so this is one gun I would go to for home defense, and it's set up for that. But at the end of the day, I believe the best gun for home defense is a good old 12 gauge, and a 12 gauge pump. This has the 18-inch barrel. I believe it's 18-inch or 18 and a quarter. Yeah, I think it's 18. But anyways, this is the Mossberg 500. I bought this gun just for home defense. This is what it's used for. This is why I have it. It is clear, but I love the pump action for home defense on a shotgun on 12 gauge. For one, it's automatics. You know that you can have a lot of problems. Semi-automatics, you can have a lot of problems with those shotguns depending on which ones you have. I do have my Bird gun 12 gauge, my dad's old shotgun 12 gauge Remington that he used for bird hunting all the time. I do have that, but you know, it's got the 27-inch barrel on it, and it's, you know, it's a hunting shotgun, so I got bird shot in there. But as far as home defense, clearing the house, you know, and as far as home defense with a shotgun using a 12 gauge shell, you can't go wrong with a shotgun for home defense. You know, I keep double op buck in here for home defense. I do have slugs. I don't have a what they call the sleeve that goes on the back here, so I can keep more shells here in the back. I think it's what, 3+1? I think it's 3+1. And then I do have extra shells not far where I can grab to put more in my pocket or whatever. But I might grab one of those ammo sleeves on here. My buddy that I went shooting with last week, that shooting his new 9mm. They actually had a used Maverick 12 gauge for sale up there, and he got a good price on it and good deal. And he's gonna be getting one of the ammo sleeves on the back to have more shells on there. And he's gonna have slugs and double out buck on there. But I do use the double out buck for home defense, and I do have slugs. For me, the slugs are just used for, breaching doors, or if somebody did invade the house and, something happened and they were driving away in a car, I would use a slug to put through their vehicle. Now, by law, you ain't supposed to do that. Once they leave, you gotta let them go. Once they get out of your house, the fight's over. You can't just go out and start putting rounds down in somebody's freaking car. So anyways, but the slugs is what I would use to penetrate, walls, doors, and vehicles is what I would use the slugs for. But as far as home defense go, to stop the attack, to stop the threat, double out buck is what I would have in here. Plus, you could use birdshot if you wanted to use birdshot to, pepper their ass. You could do that if you didn't want to use a more lethal, shell to take them out. But for me, double out buck is what I would have in here, and I think it's 3+1 is what the gun holds. So, but it's just a standard Mossberg 500. I haven't done anything fancy to it. The way I got it, is how it is. I just got the little bead up there for the sights there. So I haven't done anything special with this, but it's just simple and does the job that I need it for. And I've already gone through the house when I got it, and going around corners and clearing, and what areas are tight and what areas aren't. So that's the big thing. If you do have gun set up for home defense, you better practice going through your house and working the corners and the angles and knowing which way to go, depending on where the threat's coming from. So now a lot of guys think having an AR-15 is a great home defense gun, but I disagree. And I know a lot of people that former military and former law enforcement and all that, retired law enforcement, they all agree 12 gauge shotgun, best gun for home defense. And then if you got a nice double stack compact pistol or full frame pistol, that's a great home defense gun too. That'd be my backup, but this would be my go-to in that situation. So, and having an AR-15 is not a round of 5.56, 223. That's not a round you want to be shooting through your house, and it penetrating, could bounce off and go off places in the house and go through walls, and you could hit a loved one, in the other room. So having an AR-15 for me would not be for home defense inside the house, would not be a good home defense option. Now, if the fight was outside, and let's say you have property and everything, and you got people coming in and multiple attackers too, and you got people coming in, they're leaving, and then you go outside with your AR and you're taking out multiple targets, then that's a different story. That's where the AR comes in. But when they're coming in the house, with the 4 shots in here, and I got an extra mag, 15 rounds in that mag, 15 in here, that's enough ammo and, firearms I would need to stop a threat or stop multiple attackers, coming in the house. So, anyways, but the 12 gauge shotgun is, my opinion and a lot of other people's opinion, the best home defense gun to have. And keep it simple. Great thing about the pump too is sometimes you don't even have to shoot anybody. They hear that noise right there. You just rack it. They hear that, and then more than likely they're going to be, hightailing and getting the hell out of Dodge because they already know what time it is. But that's the great thing about the pump too. Most of the time you can just, deterring a threat, just pumping it. So anyways, but yeah, I love the shotgun for home defense. So that, I believe, is the go-to for that situation. Anyway, so, and then I got, this would be my pistol I would have on me, you know, for the home defense too. So those are the home defense situations. And like I said, I got the Ruger there. Now for concealed carry, and what I'm still carrying, I've been carrying for years now, is my Ruger LC9S. And I do keep my extra mag here in my cargo pocket. I always wear cargo pants. Even with my shorts, I always have cargo shorts. So I use these cargo pockets. The left side is always where my mag is, my extra mag. And the right side is, you know, where I just keep keys and, you know, phone or some keys most of the time there. If I don't have a carabiner for my keys, my truck keys. On my wife's truck, on my truck, I always keep my keys here on a carabiner on my belt. So anyways, but the extra mag always goes in my left side cargo pocket. But I still have, I do keep one in chamber. So anyways, I'm still carrying my Ruger LC9S. The S is a striker fire. And I've had this gun for, I've been carrying this now for what, 7-8 years at least. And I love this gun. For concealed carry, it's awesome. The size, very compact. I love Ruger. My father loved Ruger, so I'm a big fan of the Rugers. I know a lot of people, some people like Smith & Wesson, some people like Ruger. I think the one guy told me, actually, when I purchased this firearm, I was asking, you know, what the difference, you know, who does he think is better as far as Ruger and Smith & Wesson goes. And at the time when I bought this gun, I was looking at this one, the LC9, or I was going to get the Smith & Wesson Shield. Now, at the time when I bought this, this had a lot of great reviews with no problems. The big feature that a lot of people love is how it had the trigger like the Glock. And, you know, it had this safety feature on here, just like a Glock. And at the time, Smith & Wesson didn't have that. They didn't have that on their trigger. Now, the Shield also had a recall at that time when I purchased this gun. The reason why I chose this one is because the Shield had a recall on their trigger, and they were having problems, I believe is what it was. Yeah, I think it was the trigger that they were having. So anyways, they did have a recall at that time, and that was why I decided to go with the Ruger LC9S. Now, I did like the Shield platform better. Loved the handle better. The grips on the handles were better. The frame of the gun was, I like the frame better. It reminded me more of a kind of a Glock or Walther kind of setup. You know, the Ruger here actually took this design from was it Keltec Firearms. They were the first ones to originally come out with this design, and then Ruger, you know, took it and then also used it on theirs. I love the gun as far as frame, as far as carrying it, the way it's set up and the frame on it. But I do like the Shield better. The Shield's grips on the handle were a lot, had better texture and was more grippy, which that also caused a lot of problems for people concealed carrying, you know, on their skin. The handles will rub up on their skin and would cause, you know, irritation there from that. So with the Ruger here, the grips and the texture on it was real smooth. It didn't cause any problems, irritations here, touching your skin and rubbing. So that was a plus on that. But the downfall to not having a lot of texture and the handle on the Ruger was, you know, if your hands got wet or if you were in a fight and you were bleeding, you know, and if anybody knows when you get blood on your hands get real slippery and it's hard to, you know, hold on to your pistol because you're bleeding, you know, the blood. Or if your hands are wet, it's hard to, you know, this texture is so smooth that this gun would, you know, slide in your hands. So one of the things I did was add on this, was it Hogu grips. Show you if I can get the name in there. Yeah, I think you pronounce it like Hogu grips. Anyways, I was looking at different grip options to put on there, and a lot of guys will take was it the rubber bands, um, the military grade. I forget the name. But anyways, they take the rubber band option and put that on here for, you know, to get a better grip. Or you can get the tape stuff that they have that's real gritty, and you can put that on your handle. And then there was this, these grips. Now I did purchase this. I've had this on here for about 4 or 5 years. I shoot with it, no problems. Everything's good. Still works great. No issues really. And for me, the reason I put it on there, because it made the handle thicker. That was the other thing about the Ruger LC9. This platform really had a real thin handle and just not a lot of, handle to grab a hold of. Like it was really small. I have medium-sized hands, so for me it was too small. If you have small hands, it probably wouldn't be a big deal. But for me, having medium-sized hands, and if you have large hands, very small handle. And I put the grip on here to get more, to make it thicker and be able to hold on to something a little bit better. So, that's why I did that. But also for the texture, this has a better texture on it and a better grip, so I can get a better grip on the gun. And then when I'm shooting it, it feels a lot better in the hand. Now, one thing I did notice shooting I've always noticed, but having these subcompact guns, especially this one here, it does beat the hell out of your hand. I don't have any problems with it coming back. A lot of guys, these subcompact, I think the small Glock 42, I think it is, the slide will come back and it'll bite you, back here on the back of your hand, especially if you got meaty hands. You got a lot of meat here in this area. That slide will come back. But if you're holding the gun right, you don't have that issue. As you can see, with me, I don't have that issue with the Ruger with my hands, so that's never been a problem. But after shooting, a lot of rounds in this gun, it does beat the hell, out of your hand inside here. And being such a small frame with a 3.5-inch barrel, I mean, you're gonna have a recoil, and you're gonna feel it when you're shooting it. But this gun is a concealed carry gun. This gun is set up for self-defense. If somebody try to hurt me or anybody with me or my loved one, this gun, single stack, 7+1 is what I keep in here, and it has enough rounds to stop a threat from hurting us. And I'm not going to be shooting freaking 40-50 rounds in a gunfight with this thing. It's only just set up for a short period of time to stop a threat and using with a short a small amount of rounds. I do keep a backup. This is a Ruger mag, and it does this has the extended mag on it, so I got a couple extra rounds. I think it's 9 rounds, 9 or 10 rounds instead of the 7. So I do keep that in the cargo. That's backup, and then I got the 7 mag here. Now I do keep the 7 mag in the gun itself, which has the pinky grip option there, so my pinky can sit there. I actually like shooting with this mag a little bit better, but the extended mag, you can actually get more of your hand on it, so you actually get a better grip using the extended mag. But I've gotten so used to having the pinky mag on there, I actually shoot better with this. By having this extended option on the mag does give me that longer handle, like the Shield, like the one things I like about the Smith & Wesson Shield, and I have that longer handle option. So that's a huge plus using this. But I did notice shooting, I am more used to having the smaller option, or the pinky handle, which you can see, like it's my hands all the way at the bottom. But this is my backup, man. So I do got more rounds. Now I do have a Pro Mag for this gun, and I have that in my backpack, plus a box of ammo that I keep in there in case things got ugly. But I do have a Pro Mag also ready to go. Now the Pro Mag, I did use it when we were at the range. I shot all 3 of these magazines. Rugers ran fine. Pro Mag did have one problem to feed one of the rounds, but that was it. But for the most part, it ran good. But like I said, the gunsmith says stay away from Pro Mags, stay away from the aftermarkets. Just buy the Ruger magazines, and or whatever gun it is you're carrying. Just try to stay away from Pro Mags because they're just cheap and they're just not reliable. So, and they do malfunction all the time. And usually the biggest problem you're going to have with automatics or semi-automatics type platforms compared to revolvers is, usually it's your magazine that has a problem, problem to feed or malfunction. So I always have multiple magazines on you carrying. Just like tourniquets, you should always have more than one tourniquet. I keep 2 tourniquets in my IFAC trauma kit that I have in my backpack. So you should always have multiple tourniquets and multiple mags because the magazines will be the problem. Now the revolvers, you don't have to worry about, less moving parts. They work every time, but you just have to be more careful as far as the trigger and the holster and all that goes, making sure they don't go off, because if you drop them, they could fire, the hammer hit the round and it will fire and go off. So anyways, but this is what I have set up for concealed carry, and it's perfect for during the day. I have the standard sights on here, so I don't have like any night sights or anything. That's one thing I could add on here for at night, when we're out. But for the most part, these sights are good enough where I can pick them up at night. If something did happen, I can see them and then get shots on target. So, but I could add some better sights on here. But other than that, this is great for concealed carry and great for what I need it for every day in my life, and just for the normal way of living. When there's law and order. Now, if SHTF happens and chaos happens and everything goes to hell, this is not the gun I would be carrying on me on my person every day in an SHTF situation. This would be the gun for my wife to have when she's here at the house, for protection. But in an SHTF situation, I would be carrying the Walther PPQ. That would be my concealed carry, which that would even matter anymore as far as concealed carry. I would be open carrying this at 3 o'clock, and I wouldn't even be concealing this anymore because there's no law and order. So there's no reason to conceal, unless it was a situation to where I'm trying to hide my gun to get into a situation or breach into somewhere or do something where I don't want anybody knowing I have a gun, or going to get food, from somewhere, and in a crazy freaking times, chaos and, crime and everything's going to hell on the streets, and I'm trying to get food, and I'm going to be in a situation with other people trying to do the same thing, but I don't want them knowing I have a firearm, then I would conceal carry. So this would be the gun I would have in a SHTF type situation. And I also would be wearing my vest, which I have that Safe Flight Defense vest, which I keep in my truck with my backpack. I see a lot of guys and I see a lot of people have their bug out bags and get home bags, but they don't have two things. And Jack was just talking about this on the recent video he just did. You always see all these guys carrying a gun, and they think having a gun, well, everything's good. That's all I need, and that's all I'm gonna need to help me in a self-defense situation. But if you carry a firearm every day and you have concealed license carry, open carry, whatever, if you carry a firearm every day, you should have a trauma kit and a medical with you at all times, or in a backpack or somewhere in your vehicle where you can get to at all times. I used to carry a small trauma kit in my cargo pocket on the right side, tourniquet, some bandage, chest seal, and everything just in a small package, one of the SWAT T tourniquets in there on my person. But for me, it was too much for every day, having everything on me in normal and law and order type society. But in an SHTF situation, you damn right I'm gonna have my trauma kit on my belt, or in my cargo pocket, a small pack like I used to do in my pocket, because if I'm leaving with a firearm in a bad situation and I have extra mags, you bet your ass I'm gonna have a couple tourniquets on me too, and medical gear to take care to stop bleeding for either me or for somebody else. So that's the must. Like, you should always have that medical and firearms go together. If you don't have a trauma kit and you're carrying a gun, you're an idiot. Because if you get shot, you're screwed, and you're going to call 911. But by the time they get there, or somebody calls 911, you done bled out and you died, or even worse, one of your loved ones bled out and died. So always make sure you have trauma with you. But going back to the vest, I see a lot of guys with their get home bags. And if it was an SHTF situation, the grid went down, and I mean, it was a mess. When I can't use my truck to get home, and I'm miles away from the house, and there's crime on the street and anarchy and chaos, I'm gonna make sure I have my gun, I have my extra mags, I have a box of ammo in my bag, I have all my survival gear and all my survival items to sustain me for a certain period of time. But I'm also gonna have my Safe Life Defense vest underneath for protection in case somebody try to stab me or try to shoot me and try to hurt me in some way. But I have some type of armor and some type of protection on my body to help me in a self-defense situation to get home so I don't get hurt. And if I do get hurt, I'm gonna make sure I got enough tourniquets and trauma medical supplies to help take care of myself, to get help, and to stop the bleeding. So those are all the things you should be thinking about and concealed carry or open carry. Anytime carrying a firearm, license to carry a firearm, you should have, your protection as far as your vest, plates or whatever, or the body armor, Safe Life Defense type options and stuff like that. You should have those. You should have that. You should have your firearm. You should have your ammo, and you should have medical trauma. So, those all go together for me, and I don't ever leave home without them. And they're always in my truck or on my person, not far. So, it's those are the things you have to take in consideration. Now, for home defense, that's a whole different story. You got your guns. Do I need to throw my vest on in a home defense situation? It would be good if there was multiple attackers. So if there was multiple attackers coming in, I have time to get to my, put my vest on, then I would. But usually in a home defense situation, the bad guy, he gets to jump on you, and they got the element of surprise against you, and you have to hurry up and have a plan ready for, if somebody came through the back door, you should already have a plan ready, what you need to do. Or if they're coming through the front, going through the garage, whatever, you should already have a plan on that situation, what you're going to do and what you're going to grab and what you're going to get to. So, and that, time is everything. So the, less time you have to spend getting ready and being prepared, you're already ready to go. It's all muscle memory, and you just, you already know what to do. So that saves lives, and time is everything, especially in a self-defense situation. If somebody approaches you, you should already have a plan before you even walk into a place, or you should be watching everybody in there and the threats, who you think's the threat, who you think you need to watch. And if something did happen, where's your exit doors, what you need to do to protect you and your loved ones, and be ready for any situation. You should always be prepared and be ready for any situation. And I think Jack talks about this all the time. A lot of people call it paranoia, being paranoid, but I'd rather be paranoid and alive than oblivious and dead. So, that's the way you have to look at it. And I'd rather live my life the way I do now, and being with my situational awareness and always being ready and being prepared and watching threats and being to make sure that my family and I stay alive. So, and especially in the SHTF type situation, that is going to be everything to survival, to stay alive in a situation like that, is being ready at all times and always being prepared for any situation, or at least having most of them covered. So when it does happen, you can get through it and you guys can live another day. So anyways, guys, that's just kind of my thoughts on home defense, self-defense, what different options, for home defense gun. Like I said, 12 gauge shotgun is my go-to. And I believe, and my thought and other people is 12 gauge shotgun is the best home defense gun to have. And then, you got your pistols and different type setups and all that stuff, and lights and lasers and all that good stuff. So, but I think that's it, y'all. As far as self-defense, just being ready for the fight when it comes. Like Jack always says, Black Scout, they always say, what is it? Stay dangerous, stay frosty. Man, I forgot this. I forgot the saying again. Anyways, but just basically being ready, for any time, for anything. So, but anyways, guys, I hope this can help. It's a long video. I'm at like 40 minutes. This video is going way longer, but I had a lot of things I wanted to talk about, and then what I experienced at the range. And get out there and shoot too. Get out there to the range and make sure you're running all your magazines and checking all your guns. Make sure everything's in order and everything's working, because you might have some magazines that aren't feeding properly. You need to get rid of, or buy some new ones. So anyways, but take care. God bless. Help us through these dark times, Lord, because we are definitely going through some dark times now. And it's only going to get worse. It's not going to get better. We're going to keep fighting, and keep doing what we have to do to try to save this country. But at the end of the day, there's a bigger agenda out there. There's a wickedness and evil in this world that are working on a bigger wicked agenda. And this has all been planned. This has all been said. The Bible has told us everything about this. And so, it's only going to get worse. But the great thing about being a Christian and following Jesus Christ and accept him as your Lord and Savior, that we're not going to have to go through the hell that's coming. And if you accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior and accept Jesus Christ in your life and your heart, you are saved. You won't have to go through the tribulation and the torment that's coming, after the rapture. Jesus is coming back, and he is going to take his church and his bride and his people, and we're going to spend eternity in heaven with Jesus Christ. And that's we won't have to worry about this stuff. But while we're here, we should be ready and prepared, but also stay vigilant and keep watching, because redemption is drawing near and Jesus is coming, and the birth pains are getting stronger. So guys, take care. God bless. I hope this can help, and I'll see you on the next one. All right, y'all.